What is good, beautiful women and men of God, wonderfully and fearfully made? Imagine. But I had a live video on my Instagram just a bit ago, and I just wanted to share something that the Holy Spirit just imparted in me. About just the importance of dwelling in the secret place and abiding in God. Psalms 91 verse 1 talks about whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. And another version says, instead of shelter, it says in the secret place. So it says he who dwells in the shelter, he who dwells in the secret place. It doesn't say he who visits. So we ought to abide, in the secret place. We ought to dwell in the secret place. We ought to make a habit out of, switching off those distractions and just saying, okay, God, this is time for you and I, and just being people who, love spending time with God and make a habit out of being in the secret place. And the secret place is a place of prayer, not limited to location, but cultivated out of relationship and intimacy with God. The secret place is the position of abiding in God's presence. So it is also a heart position. Jesus sets an example for us. Many times he retreated to be alone so that he could speak to the Father and be alone with the Father. And so we ought to learn from that. We ought to retreat countless times during the day, not just when we wake up and before we go to sleep, but constantly in communion with God, constantly, in conversation with God, and just learning to make that a priority, learning to understand that, in as much as there are rewards in the secret place, it's also about just learning to enjoy the presence of God and not just his presence. You get me?